Good morning. Hi, I'm Kat Simpson, the Traveling Nona. I'm a little nervous today because I was challenged to tell my story as a beginning, so I have it printed out. Okay, is that lame or what? I don't know, but I was challenged to do this, and I'm going to do this. And if you'll notice, one of the hashtags on my post is day 1 of 365, because that's part of the challenge too, to actually go live every day for a year. So here we go. I hope you're ready. My backstory. This is my story. And I'm nervous. I'm never nervous doing these, but for some reason telling my story, feels a little odd. I was a grieving empty nest mom. I didn't realize that I was grieving until later, but I was. I was going through a period of realizing that all I had ever wanted in my life was to be a mom. I had no career ambitions. I wanted to be happily married mother, and that's all as far as it went for what I wanted, and I reveled in it. I have 5 adult children. I started to say I loved every minute. That's probably not exactly true. There were some tough times, especially with 3 little ones, because 3 of them came pretty close together. But honestly, I really did love the whole thing. I loved being pregnant. I loved newborns. I still love newborns. I loved nursing my babies. I loved watching them grow up. I loved seeing them develop their personalities and getting to know them as people instead of my cute little babies, that was so much fun. So I loved the whole process. And I was proud of each of them as they launched out of the nest and went off and did their thing. And I was proud of them and excited. And then the last one left. And I was like, okay, I'm not a mom anymore, which I am. That was a silly thing to think. But at the time, that's what I thought. I'm not a mom anymore. What am I? Okay. Now, I had always had other interests. Okay. I was very involved in my church. I held a part-time job. I held a full-time job as a church secretary for 6 years. I always had a sideline business. I sold Avon. I sold Tupperware. I sold cleaning products. I sold makeup. I sold all kinds of stuff over the years. So I always had mom's little extra thing, mom's little thing on the side that I did. And at the time that the last few left the nest, I was heavily involved in eBay. I was doing a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. We raised almost $10,000. We called it Bling My Bra, and we had a lot of fun with it. So I had a lot of interests and friends and all, but no real passion. So I got involved in eBay just for something to do and to make some extra money. Mama's egg money. In the olden days, it would have been a woman, selling her eggs or the milk or whatever. I was selling stuff from around the house, from garage sales. Eventually, it grew to wholesale. I expanded to eBay, to Amazon. I had my own e-commerce store. I sold $250,000 was my biggest year. So it was not mom's little thing. It was a big e-commerce business. But it wasn't satisfying. It was fun meeting the people, learning all the skills I needed, but it wasn't enough. And I finally realized during that time I was still grieving. I was grieving the loss of what I saw as my identity. So I was a grieving empty nest mom trying to sell gadgets online. And I was selling whatever, okay? I was just whatever I could find. From liquidation to wholesale to private label, I tried them all. I used them all. I really wanted to find a new passion in business so I wouldn't have to move in with my family. There have been times in our life when my husband was put out of the military for medical reasons, when we did not have Social Security disability yet, when he did not have a job, when it was desperate. And we have moved in with his parents twice in our married life. So that was always in the back of my mind, that if I didn't make this work, that could happen again. And making Amazon work is how I got us out of that position the second time, was Amazon. So I'm very grateful for that, Amazon FBA. But my desire was to create a consistent, reliable income, doing something I actually enjoyed, and I wanted to leave a financial legacy for my family. I wanted to go from being homeless, living with my father-in-law, to leaving money for my children so that they would never have to be afraid or concerned about being homeless or anything like that. Okay? That was my desire. My struggle was that I was spending every minute trying to make this e-commerce business work, because those of you who are in e-commerce know that the speed of change in business is constant. It's constantly evolving, constantly. Look at what's happening right now to businesses. Think about all the different business models that are totally having to be redone right now because of the pandemic. So rate of change in business is fast. Rate of change in e-commerce business is exponentially faster. Rules change daily. I could tell you so many stories of people that I knew or my own experience that had a profitable line going, a profitable little business on one particular area, woke up one morning, no warning whatsoever, with the platform they were selling on telling them that they could no longer sell that profitable product, or that they could no longer sell there at all. I can tell you multiple stories like that. So my struggle was that I was spending so much time trying to keep this e-commerce business current and adapting. I had no time. I wasn't able to create a consistent, reliable income through that for my family, and I wasn't doing something I enjoyed. So there wasn't even an option of leaving any money to anybody. It was just getting by. To make things worse, as my business struggled, I felt worse and worse because I really disliked what I was doing. But on top of that, my family needed my income. So suddenly I wanted nothing more than to quit this wheel I was on of constant change, constantly adapting, constantly looking for new products, constantly looking for new customers. I wanted out so bad, but I felt like a failure as a business owner who couldn't make it work because other people had. So what was wrong with me? And as a wife, because I had told my husband that he had supported our family for 30 years and that he was not able now because he was disabled, and it was my turn and I could take care of it. So feeling like a failure. The problem that I ran into was that Amazon and eBay were constantly changing their terms of service. So every week it felt like I was scrambling to change my business model, to change what products I was selling, to change my projections of where I could be, would be, should be in the future. It meant that my business was requiring more and more of my time at the exact moment that I wanted to cut back. It was killing my only source of income, and I was afraid. As if by chance, I was talking to a friend, Ray Perry, shout out to Ray, and she told me about this new business that she was involved in. She mentioned travel, and of course my attention was drawn because I've always loved to travel. Then she mentioned home-based business, and then she mentioned legacy building, as in something you could hand down to your family. Then it became really clear to me that instead of making money selling gadgets and constantly adapting to whatever Amazon or eBay got a wild hair that day, I was going to be able to sell something that I loved, something that I could believe in, something that I could sell easily. So it was crystal clear that I could make the money I needed selling something I believed in, and I saw that I could actually support my family, and because of the way this business is structured, it was something I could leave to my children. It's actually a willable business, so that was really exciting. The interesting thing is, I actually thought travel agents were extinct. I mean, let's just be real. I thought they were dinosaurs because we had all the online travel agencies. We had Expedia and Priceline and Travelocity and all the other ones, right? So who needed a travel agent? So in my mind, they were extinct. What I found out was that they were not only not extinct, they were doing very well in 2018. So as a result of that conversation, I jumped from selling gadgets into selling travel, jumped in with both feet, and I've never looked back. I started making money again, and this time it was doing something I enjoyed. So the long hours became more about that I was fascinated with what I was learning and doing, instead of being like, what did Amazon change now? I was actually going, oh, you can do that in Fiji? Really? Where else could I learn to do, water skiing from an air balloon? That's really cool. Suddenly I was enjoying my day again, and I was making progress on our family's money goals. That's when I realized the secret to selling things online was to sell something that I actually loved and enjoyed, and it made me good at it. The plan was to start traveling the world and show others how they could too. I jumped in with both feet. I took every FAM trip I could find. What's a FAM trip? FAM, F-A-M, is short for familiarization. And the concept goes back to the money. Always follow the money, right? So a vendor, like a resort, like Sandals or Couples or Holiday Inn for that matter, they know that if a travel agent becomes familiar with their product, the chances are they'll sell more of it. So they offer familiarization trips. And it's usually free or really, really like pennies on the dollar for you to go experience their product. This can be a cruise line. Cruise line fam trips are common. This can be a resort in another country. It can be a resort in the country. It can be a rental car. These are vendors that are offering, again, follow the money. I've always believed that. These are vendors offering free or low-cost options to travel agents so that they will become familiar with the product because that sells more. And so I jumped in and took all kinds of fam trips. I went to Jamaica twice. I went on an Alaska cruise. I went on another cruise. So it was a lot of fun, and I was having a blast, and I was getting familiar with travel. I was selling these things because I was jumping into them. I also learned how to put together packages for people. So if somebody said, I wanted to go to Fiji, and here's my budget, and here's the things I want to do, I learned how to put that all together. And I learned about group cruises, which was life-changing because I love to travel, but I also love to travel with people I know. So like my family or my friends, that's even more. It's like it multiplies the fun. So I was learning about all that stuff. Then came COVID. So every time you think you found the answer right, there's something there. So the problem was COVID hit, and the travel industry took a huge hit. It was majorly impacted. It still is. International travel was halted almost immediately. Planes were shut down, sent to airplane graveyards. Cruise ships were stuck at sea trying to figure out where to get their passengers off. It was chaos. In-person meetings, which is where I've been meeting my clients and where I've been presenting to people to show them the opportunity of the travel, that was all shut down. So then what? I ended up getting so frustrated that I decided to do my research, to get in there and find out the best we could, because we're facing something unknown. Is this the end of travel? So I read and read and read, and I followed footnotes, and I followed rabbit trails, and I went to historians about the things that had happened to travel during the SARS epidemic, the H1N1 issue, 9/11, all these different things when people said it's over, nobody's ever going to want to travel again. And what I realized was that was ridiculous. Our world in 2020 is a global world, and people had come to taking travel for granted. They could just hop on a plane and go anywhere they wanted really fast. Now it's going to take more thought. It's going to take more intention. But I really believe that when you give people something and then you take it away, they want it even more. And so now the travel industry, and it's been proven, Carnival Corporation, their bookings are up 300%. That's not just Carnival Cruise Ship. They own 5 different cruise lines. So the corporation as a whole, bookings this year over this time last year are up 300%. And no, that's not just all rebookings and reschedulings. Those are new bookings. Another cruise line that I know, Norwegian, their bookings are up year over year 200%. So travel's not dead. Travel is going to look different going forward. People are going to need travel professionals like myself a lot more. So after I did my research and realized it wasn't the end of the world, I decided to call this new plan Kat's Second Act, because I did my research, and a lot of empty nest moms are looking for their next thing. They've raised their children, and their children are off on their own. They're flying around, and mom's like, okay, now what? So my passion is to reach out to all of those empty nest moms and show them that they can go from being an empty nest mom to a second act mom. and they can find their second act, they can find their passion. And usually when you ask people what they want to do when they retire or what they want to do when they don't have little children they have to schedule around, it's travel. So that's my passion now, is to reach out to those moms and say, look, travel's not dead and you can do it. And this can be your next second act. So I thought if I could create something that would make it possible for people to travel confidently with their family again, that they would be really happy and I would be really happy. So I've chosen to call this, as I said, Kat's Second Act. After weeks of researching and studying, I created this new version of my business. I can now confidently assist your family with their travel plans, but better than that, I can show you how to find your passion for your second act. I want to let other empty nest moms enjoy the fun that I've had. I can show you your available options and help you explore. After creating Kat's Second Act, now I can travel the world with my family again, maybe not to Europe yet, but it's coming. And I've also been able to stop spending all my time in a business that I grew to resent. It wasn't fun anymore. People ask me, why did you stop selling online? And the easy short answer is it wasn't fun anymore. It was work. It was a lot of work. And I'm a hard worker. I'm not lazy. You can ask my husband. He drags me away from my computer and my work. I like to work. But it needs to be something that I am passionate about and that I can see the results for my family and even for others, because I've got that mom gene, guys. I was born with it. I like to help other people. I like to nurture other people. I like to help them. So in the end, all of this means that I can now live my passion in my second act. And I can bring my grandchildren with me. I can bring my children with me. And as I build this business, I can leave a financial legacy, and that means the world to me. So that's my story. I hope you stick around. It's a journey. I'm not there yet, but I hope you stick around for the journey. I would love to help you on your journey. Just reach out. I'm easy to talk to, believe me. And this is my traditional sign off if you're not used to my videos. I love you and goodbye. And love you means I want the best for you. Okay, we can talk about that in another thing, but love is not this small, Cupid feeling. Love is an action. It's a choice. And I choose to love other people and to want what's best for them. So, Kat, the Traveling Nona, love you, bye.